and that was reconciled towards the TRC getting that of the current standard bearer of United Party, which is now president of Liberia, Ellen Johnson, that being part and parcel of some of the ills that are happening in the society, and the Truth and Reconciliation cannot be totally balanced with all these individuals coming to full justice. And you made it clear in that there should be or instant where the unit before there be or change in this process, there must be or interim process. What actually got you involved to come up with such ideology?
Because the thing is that this election is coming, and because of political bias, you see what I'm saying? There has to be a neutral, you see what I'm saying? A neutral body that needs to be in place before we can really have a real election. Other than that, it's going to be a joke. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be a joke. And that's why, for example, the chairman for the National Election Commission has been asked to step down. You see, he's been asked to step down by opposition parties. Why? Because he is an ally, close ally of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and for a long time.
So are you saying in essence that the United Party is reflecting back, as we digress on your earlier statement, that there are people who Ellen Johnson put into place just to be planted in those positions that she cannot be ruled of.
Exactly. It's politics
to the nation as well.
Yes, and in order for the nation to move forward, the TRC recommendation must be implemented. It went through the national legislature of Liberia, and the executive branch, which is headed by Ellen Johnson, has the duty to implement that.
All right.
You cannot go back to the legislature. It's been, once the legislature established that, who's supposed to take that? The executive branch, but they refuse to do that. Why? And the reason for that is because she is also implicated.
All right, that means her involvement is into that as well.
Yes.
And that brings me to one of your points in your lecture. You made mention of impunity. And I want for us to look at it in this manner, in this fashion, as we speak in terms of the truth and reconciliation, because we as Liberians, we have heard over the past that we want these egos of past to pass back, the act of forgiveness to come forth. And now you're speaking that there should be individuals who should be accountable for their responsibility and atrocity they cause to the nation. How can you compromise that with that of forgiveness?
Forgiveness does not come without accountability.
All right.
In order for one to be forgiven, one has to admit his fault.
All right.
Before he can be forgiven. The country is divided right now. Liberia is totally divided. Many people are hurt. Many people have been, pretty much just, looked past, like nothing existed. Like they lost loved one. There has to be something. And in order for Liberia to move forward, the TRC must be, the recommendation of that commission must be implemented in order for real peace to come. Without that, we cannot have real peace in that country, because why? We have created a culture of impunity, meaning that when you get angry, you get disgruntled, you can do whatever you like, because what's going to happen? Nothing's going to happen. That culture has to stop. And this current government, you have people in the legislature, you have men like Prince Johnson, who, the most vicious of all, is a senator in this government. Many of them that created a lot of heinous crimes against our people, Haji Kroman, G.V. Kroman, and all these people, Ellen Johnson being the primary herself, who created this whole problem. So in order for Liberia to be restored to real peace, we don't want an appearance of peace.
Right.
We want real peace.
Real peace.
Yes. There's a difference between the two.
In that we should make sure that this truth and reconciliation, because this is one of the key issues that you kind of focus on in your lecture as well. This truth and reconciliation needs people who are neutral.
Yes.
So in that process, the neutrality will help a better judgment.
There you go. Exactly.
And that will help other people to come forth and judge who have caused atrocity to the nation as
Yes,
well.
because if you don't have accountability, who is there to prevent what's going to happen in the future? If everybody sees what's happening now, there's accountability for what's happening in the past. There's so much chance, to prevent that for the future. But if nothing is happening now, in the future, what's going to happen? People are going to do whatever they want to do, and Liberia will become a circle. I mean, to be the oldest African republic, we have absolutely nothing to show for it at this point. I mean, doesn't it? What does it tell us, really? I feel very passionate about this thing, because I get very excited about it because I want to see our country become different. I want to see a different Liberia. I want to see the suffering of our people gone away. I want to see all of that. The many tears that our people have shared. Who's going to wipe it away? The people are suffering 6 years, of the Unity Party leadership. Our people are still suffering.
So this brings me back to the constitution you made mention of in your lecture, saying that there should be some amendment and stating that the constitution gives much power to that of the executive branch, which is the president as well. So we have to change the ideology to the previous 1907, wherein there was 2 years of turning.
Amen.
So I want to ask you, do you think if we involve that previous years over the past, that 1907 will bring in that turning of 2 years, you think our leader will be fully equipped to accomplish his or her aim when he's or is elected?
Oh no, not going back to the 2 years, the 4-year term.
All right.
That at that point that's where it went to 4 year on a governor. That's what I went to, that 4-year term. That 4-year term, the TWP. So what I'm trying to say is that we're not going back to 2 years, but 4 years.
All right.
Back to the 4 year. 2 years was the original.
It was the original.
Or was the original, and then that came to 4 years.
Yeah.
You see, so we need to go back to that 4 years, not 6 years and perhaps 7. What if she wants to add her own 1 year? Doe did his, Taylor did his. Who is saying that she wouldn't do that, or any other president for that matter? Because the Constitution has no accountability for the president. It's a joke.
Because it's kind of serious in the sense that when we speak in line of the Liberian Constitution, which of course you make direct representation to Article 50, 61 and that of 93, stating that it gives the leader dictatorship in that form.
It creates room for that.
It creates room for that. But I as an individual and others out there will want to know, it is indeed a good idea, but looking at our current background, where Liberia have come from, after 15 pretty much to 17 years of civil crisis, if you add all of some of those wasted of years, and we cannot kind of comply or try to direct that to the current unfailing circumstances that surrounds other nation that goes for 4 years, because it's still from a grassroots nation that needs to go forward. So coming in with that idea, once again, I comes from the other side of this point. Bishop Chea, as a leader and knowing for the word, we know that, as you said earlier, President Ellen Johnson had her own ills, and she have done XYZ like any other leaders. But when you see that physical aspect of those turnings of years, you think a leader can accomplish his or her aim, particularly Liberia, within that turning of 4 years?
Oh yes, I believe it.
What are some foundation or key that you think you can give to the Liberian people that will see that aspect, that we all can judge it from that level?
Number one is the inspiration.
Right.
The thing is knowing that they have a limited period of 4 years.
Right.
Knowing that they have 4 years. This is 4 years. I have 4 years, and this is what I must do in this 4 years. If I must make progress, if I must be remembered as this this wonderful president, this great president who did this and did that, I must do that within that 4 years.
All right.
Now, if it's not there, that's why the Liberian Constitution is good, because it's patterned after the U.S. Constitution. Though we are limited, though the Constitution itself is limited, but the idea of the Constitution is right. Okay, except the areas of accountability with the president, and things like that. But if the president, we go back to the 4 year and nothing is accomplished within the 4 year period, they also have the option, and it's their prerogative to run, like Ellen Johnson is doing again, to go another, just like it is in the U.S. If you have not accomplished your vision, you want another 4 years, but at least you are limited to 8 years. Then you cannot go beyond that.
All right.